Welcome to today's webinar. Thank you all for joining. Today we're going to be discussing leveraging in-app communications for customer success. I am Lauren Kiser, Director of Product Marketing here at Totango. As you may have seen, hopefully you saw last week, we announced the launch of Totango In-App, which is a new product for us made possible by our recent acquisition of a company called Lou. It's been a super exciting few months for us here as we've worked on integrating both the Lou technology into our composable CS platform and also welcoming the Lou team to Totango. I'm thrilled to have Rachel here. She's the co-founder of Lou and has, like I said, now joined the Totango team. Rachel, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Nice to meet you all. And I saw we had a question in the chat of how to spell Lou. So it's L-O-U. And I am Rachel Pardue. I was the co-founder and CEO of Lou Assist, which has now been acquired by Totango. So we're very excited to be a part of the Totango team. And moving forward, I'm the director of product management for the in-app division of Totango. So we're working on bringing all of this amazing in-app functionality in-house and making it available to all of you.
Awesome. Welcome to the webinar. Welcome to Totango. It's been great having you for these last few months and really looking forward to continuing to work with you on this. We also have Kristin Lisson here. Kristin is the mastermind behind Creator Campus, which hopefully everyone has logged into, taken some courses, earned some badges and certifications on Totango. So welcome, Kristin, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really glad to be here. Always fun chatting with you too. And of course, I am very happy to represent the customer success team here at Totango. I saw the poll results flash really quick, and it looked like the majority of the audience here is also representing the customer success team. So represent, hello.
All right, so today we're going to be talking a lot about the cross-functional nature of in-app communication. So while it sounds like a lot of our audience is from the CS team, we've got perspectives here from marketing, from product as well, and hopefully we'll be able to, give you some insight into how we work together. Because as we, have brought Totango in-app to life, we're doing a lot more of that here ourselves. So we're going to talk about the common use cases. We're going to get a sneak peek at the new Totango in-app functionality. And then we'll also end on just a quick highlight of the Totango H2 roadmap. So like I said, as you can see, cross-functional group here, and that's really true of pretty much every meeting you'll find us in here because we believe that customer success is a team sport. And it really requires that shared participation from every function in the organization to drive customer value. In our last State of Customer Success survey from last year, we saw about 40% of customer success teams were spending up to 25% of their time collaborating with product and with marketing. And like I said, in-app is just one of the many ways that that's starting to come to life even more here at Totango. So we have another little poll for you here just to better understand which cross-functional partnership do you think is the strongest in your organization between CS, product, and marketing? And while we're giving everyone a chance to answer that poll and get those results, Kristin, I'd love to hear, from your perspective as a CS leader, can you tell us a little bit more about your relationship with product management over the course of your career?
Yes, of course. I'm very excited about this poll as well. There's always a handshake between CS and product. After all, focus of CS is ensuring clients are successful with the product. CS depends on product to kind of deliver that great product experience, give us cool stuff. Product looks to CS for input and kind of getting that customer feedback. But I'm sure as many people on the call can attest, kind of as organizations mature, or especially, those that have scaled really quickly, I think the interdependencies are heightened between the two groups with regard to product adoption, communicating new features, voice of the customer, and roadmap prioritization. So I think in-app in particular brings a level of sophistication kind of between this CS product cross-functional area in particular, kind of more than any other.
Yeah, definitely. And, I think everyone here will agree that we like when product delivers cool stuff. So I think that's a widely shared sentiment. Rachel, how about you? Can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with marketing, both as the co-founder of Lou and now that you're here at Totango?
Yeah, absolutely. And just to make sure that, everybody on the webinar knows what we're talking about whenever we say in-app, these are typically experiences that are launched on top of your product to educate users about certain important milestones in their user journey. So some common examples are new user onboarding. You've probably seen product tours that guide users step by step through those important onboarding milestones. Or like Kristin just mentioned, whenever the product team rolls out, an amazing new feature, you want to not just alert users via email, but also in-app as well. So whenever we say in-app, that's really what we're talking about. And, working on in-app the last 5 years as a part of Lou and now moving forward with Totango in-app, it's really been amazing to see how truly cross-collaborative in-app experiences have to be. So like Lauren mentioned, marketing teams are often involved, and that's because a lot of the messaging that goes into these in-app experiences are owned by the product marketing team. So, how do you want to communicate with your users? And one of the really incredible things about Totango in-app moving forward is that it gives all of these teams one place to live. So right now we've seen in the market a really kind of disjointed experience where we're using all of these different methods of communication to get in touch with our users, whether it's email, in-app experiences, CSM touch points, and they're all managed pretty much in different tools by different teams with different messages. And this can get really disorganized, and it can make it hard to create one holistic customer journey. So moving forward with Totango in-app, we're really excited to offer companies and teams a place to collaborate, across teams, and to make sure that we have one really streamlined way to orchestrate the customer journey across all of the different methods of communication.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, I love what you said really about, marketing having a say in the messaging that goes out. It reminded me of one of my favorite phrases that Karen Budell, our CMO, says: words matter. And as a marketer, I truly believe that. So I love that perspective and really pulling in marketing to help with the words, right? Because that's what we're here for, to make sure that the words truly do matter and add value. So love that. So as we've kind of, really alluded to here, is Totango in-app, or any in-app communications, it requires that shared participation. And we've, started building a process internally here that will help us drive that value for our customers. And it's that cross-functional process, right? Some of us own different types of experiences, weigh in on different areas of the process. And it really just helps us design, build, and launch the right experiences at the right time for our customers, from product tours to announcements to surveys. And we're continuing to build upon, best practices so that we have that clearly defined roles and responsibilities, and we know how to make this the most effective channel for us. So we've got another poll here as we start talking about the different use cases for in-app, and we've touched on them a little bit already, but I'd love to hear from all of you on what seems to be the biggest challenge for your organization. Is it scaling onboarding, driving product and feature adoption, capturing user feedback, or communicating new products and features? And, as we wait for those results, we want to dig into a little bit of our use case. So let's start with scaling onboarding. Kristin, can you tell us a little bit about how in-app can help you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the most exciting part of in-app, at least for Totango, getting started with working all together with this, is figuring out where it fits in all of our other channels. So onboarding is just a great example of a customer journey stage that, touches multiple teams and really benefits from that, I guess, omni-channel approach. So if you think of onboarding, the simplest terms, the goal is to get your users to these defined checkpoints. And if emails or campaigns is all you have to do that, your emails are probably going to be very dense. And it's not really ideal to use a channel that, pulls your user out of the product and then gets them distracted by their inbox, especially during onboarding when users are already, heavily engaged in the product. So these in-app tours and checklists, which Rachel will demo in a little bit, in particular, help users get to those checkpoints faster and kind of, especially with the checklist, serve as that like persistent reminder of where they're at and what still needs to be completed. But in-app doesn't necessarily replace campaigns. In fact, you may even leverage the same segmentation or target list, which is one of the benefits of, in-app with Totango. But maybe the purpose of those emails changes a little bit. So maybe it's more about awareness for other resources, or maybe emails are more for nudging users to get back into the product if onboarding stalls. So I think in-app just really opens up the ability for all of these teams to be more strategic about each channel's purpose.
Absolutely. And then just to build on that, one of the things that we've really seen in the companies that are most successful with new user onboarding is a real focus on time to value. So we want to always get our new users to recognize the value in the product, to get to that aha moment as quickly as possible. And a lot of this has to do with user motivation, which is a really hard thing to quantify or to plan for. So when you leverage in-app experiences, one of the really incredible things about the specific channel of communication is that it's all real time. So as a user is actively going through the onboarding process and reaching milestones, we can trigger the next in-app experience to guide them to the next onboarding milestone based on what they've already done in product. So rather than other methods of communication that might just have a time delay of 24 hours, or reminder nudges of, hey, come back and do this. Instead, we can really tailor the experience to appear to the user at the time it's most relevant. So when they're in the product, on the relevant page, completing relevant tasks, so that they're much, much more likely to go through the onboarding process quickly and get to that time of value. Also in a very personalized way, like Lauren and Kristin was mentioning with leveraging Totango segmentation, you can actually cater the text and the copy in these in-app experiences to be more personalized, which only helps get these users through onboarding and to time of value faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like from our poll results that scaling onboarding is the second highest challenge for our attendees today. And the first being product and feature adoption, which of course is the one use case we are not hitting on today. But don't worry, now that we know that, we'll make sure that we provide you with all the resources you need to leverage Totango in-app to do just that and drive that product and feature adoption. But next, we're going to talk about communicating with new users. And this is really something that I am really passionate about, because as a product marketer, one of my primary goals is to ensure that our current customers and even our prospective customers have a clear understanding of our product offerings and how they can add value to the customer journey. So when we announce new products or features like we did with Totango in-app last week, we create a really robust marketing plan across channels to spread the news far and wide. And for the launch of Totango in-app, which really required a strong partnership with product and with Rachel in particular, we, for the first time, were able to use our own in-product experience functionality to announce the launch and encourage our customers to join the beta waitlist. And after our initial promotional push, which included a press release, social posts, blog posts, emails, login page, updates to the website, you name it, we've found that our in-product announcement was the second highest driver of website traffic and of beta waitlist registrants. So, that's just, it's so telling about what a powerful channel in-app really is. What I think even makes it more exciting is that the in-product experience took me about 3 minutes to create, whereas, a blog post takes a lot more time to write, to edit, review, publish. And even, in the past, when we did want to do in-app announcements, we were working closely with our engineering team, securing their resources, to design and build and deploy those in-product experiences. But now with Totango In-App, we can do a lot more with less resources and really make sure we're delivering that valuable information to all of our customers without a heavy lift and without having to take time away from a really critical team like engineering.
Yeah, I would just echo the time saving, Lauren. We used In-App to promote a new, educational series, Coffee Chats as well. And the time it takes to create an email campaign and kind of target that list to make sure it's the right audience, it does take some time. Whereas we were able to just put a banner on a Creator Campus site. Again, we didn't segment that banner, so it was a little easier, but it was so quick and we got more registrants from that versus the carefully curated target list from our emails. And it was where users were already on campus looking for things. And so it was, again, meeting, it organically created the target list because those are the people who were actively on the site.
Right. Yep. Meet customers where they are, right message at the right time.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And then I think Rachel's going to tell us a little bit more about gathering feedback using In-App.
Absolutely. So while I would say the primary purpose of Totango In-App isn't surveys, we do offer some survey capabilities. And this is really important for In-App to be a two-way conversation. So not just us using In-App to communicate with our users, but also leveraging In-App to get feedback from our users as they're in product. Some of my favorite examples of ways that companies have implemented this is after introducing users to a new feature, you can immediately get their feedback once you see that they've tried out the new feature. So users are much more likely to give feedback while it's top of mind and when they just went through the process. And this can also be applied to things like onboarding or more general surveys like NPS. So as we know, Totango In-App also offers NPS through campaigns, and now you could leverage that in-app as well. So to begin, we're going to have some basic survey types like 0 to 10 scale, short answer, and thumbs up and thumbs down. So if you guys have any other survey types that you'd like to see, we'd love for you to drop them in the chat.
Awesome. Well, I think at this point, we are ready for a demo. So everyone give their individual drum rolls to Rachel as she begins to take us through Totango In-App.
Amazing. I would love to. All right. Can you guys see the Totango platform okay? Great. So what you're looking at here is the Totango product for anybody who's not a current customer. And one of the really special things about Totango is that it's organized into series of what's called success blocks. So in this example, we have our onboarding success block open, and this is where we can plan our entire onboarding experience, whether it's the emails that we want to show through campaigns, the success plays we want to run, and now launching soon will be this new in-app section. So we touched on this earlier, but this is really one of the big advantages of having Totango In-App versus a separate in-app provider is that it can be a part of the holistic journey and the holistic experience, whether it's onboarding or any of your other success blocks. So first, I'd like to show just what these in-app experiences would look like to end users by actually launching them on top of Totango. So imagine that these would launch on top of your platform. But a few examples that we can go through is an onboarding checklist to start. And an onboarding checklist can be as many steps as you would like it to be. You can link to product tours that would then guide users through how to complete these onboarding items. And one of my favorite use cases for onboarding checklists is if you have multiple things that new users need to complete that might take a couple sessions or a few logins, because they can actually X out of the onboarding checklist, and then it will live down here in the bottom of the screen where they can come back and make progress on it as they'd like. And whenever the checklist items are all completed, it will automatically go away and congratulate your user for making it through onboarding. Another example is announcements. So these are great for announcing new features or just for improving overall product adoption. So like I mentioned, this in-app tab is going to be new. So we could use a Totango in-app experience to launch a tooltip that anchors next to this in-app tab. We could also link to more information if the user wants to read about the new feature, maybe a press release, lots of options there. Like I mentioned, we do offer different survey types and also NPS. So to quickly show the NPS, it actually launches right on top of the screen for users. Everything that you see here is fully customizable. So this overlay that just went over the Totango website, you could decide to have that or not. All of the text, colors, fonts, it's really designed to look like it was built in-house. And so after the users complete the NPS survey, you have all of that data here within Totango, which is incredibly valuable to assess the overall customer lifecycle. Lastly, I'll show you guys the preview for a product tour. So a product tour is a little different because it's a multi-step experience. So this step that you see here is a modal that's going to invite us to take the tour. And product tours are completely interactive and they are also customizable. So you'll see when I click next, this overlay is going to go away because we chose to not have it in our last step. And with it being interactive, whenever the user clicks to create tour, it's actually going to launch the action to let me create a tour. So these aren't static experiences. They can actually guide users through pages. They can take users through completing real actions. Really, the possibilities here are limitless. So now that you've seen what these experiences look like, I would love to hop over and show you what it looks like to build these experiences. So now we can imagine that this is your website. So we just have an example demo platform pulled up, and you would launch the Totango In-App Builder as a Chrome extension on top of your website. Once you launch it, you have all of the previous experiences that you've built listed out, or you can choose to create a new experience. We have multiple templates that users can choose from. So these are going to flash on the left-hand side of the screen, an announcement, which I showed earlier, a tour, an onboarding checklist, NPS surveys. We have several templates that you can choose from. But for this purpose, let's just introduce a new feature. So one of the really special things about Totango In-App is that it's code-free. So if we want to pretend that this import data button is the new feature, all we have to do to place this on our website is point and click, and it will anchor next to it. And like I mentioned, everything that you see is completely customizable. So we could make it look as if it was built in-house, but in just a few seconds and without having to involve our engineering team. After we've built the experience, we decide who should see it. So this is where the power of Totango segmentation comes into play. So all of the segments that you're already using in Totango today are available here. So you could decide to target exactly a specific list of users that you're already targeting elsewhere. And once you've built your experience and decided who should see it, the very last step is just to save and publish. And as long as you've gone through the one-time installation process, that's all that is to it. Absolutely. No code required in the build process. Once these experiences are live on your website, you also get access to analytics about how users are interacting with them. So you can see an overview of completion rate, time to completion, where users are dropping off. And also if you associate a specific goal with the experience, you actually get analytics on if the experience, not just did users complete it, but did they go on to complete the goal that's associated with that. So a common example would be a new feature announcement. You can track to see if they actually completed the feature. And that's just a quick overview of Totango In-App. So Lauren, I'll hand it back over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's super exciting. I hope everyone is as excited as I am about this, because like I said, I really love using Totango In-App already. So hopefully everyone else gets a chance to love it as much as I do. As a reminder to everyone, it's currently in a closed beta. So select customers will begin getting access on July 10th. If you're currently a Totango customer, you can join the beta waitlist at totango.com/in-app. If you're not currently a Totango customer, that's okay. If you're interested in a composable CS platform with in-app capabilities, you can learn more on our website and you can reach out for a full platform demo. Before we wrap up with questions, I just wanted to take a quick moment to share what else is on the Totango roadmap for this year. So in addition to launching the in-app beta in July with a generally available product sometime in the fall, we'll also be bringing video business reviews and opportunity management to all Totango Composable CS customers in Q3. And those will be available as add-ons to your base subscription packages. We're also delivering some really exciting new integrations, including Pendo, Mixpanel, Gmail, Outlook Calendar, Google Calendar. So a lot of integrations on the horizon for H2. And we're also continuing to invest into AI. So we'll be allowing you to use natural language to generate segment queries, and also using generative AI through our Jasper partnership to create content for your Totango campaigns. So a lot of really exciting stuff to come in the second half of the year. If you want any more details on what's coming, you can reach out to your customer success manager if you're a current customer, or like I said, go to our website, request a demo, and we can share a lot more information with you through that way. Thank you so much for attending today's webinar.